Am I the asshole for telling my mom she can't meet my boss? Kind of a dumb situation, but I'm getting shit for it from my family and I don't know what to think anymore. I live in Oregon and have a really cool job where I work on a little farm at my boss's house and we make herbal medicine. It's complete with a little goat pen, chickens, ducks, gardens, you name it. It is hands down the best job I've had, and my boss is super cool and down to earth. She's also super progressive and has a lot of supports built into the job, so let's just say I'm gonna be here for a while. I've talked to my parents about the job before and they are super happy for me. I've had a history with working jobs that made me feel absolutely terrible and where I didn't feel supported by my boss at all, so it's a super cool opportunity. Anyway, this situation happened yesterday. I got a call with my mom and we talked about some ordinary stuff. How's life? What are you doing this week? Etc. But then she asked me a very strange question. She said that her and my dad want to visit me sometime and have me show them around town. I said, oh, of course. That sounds great. Town is a really cool spot. I've got a lot of places to show you. You'll love it. And then she said she wants me to give her a tour of my boss's garden and our workspace, and pet my boss's goats, and get to meet my boss. I was a little taken aback, but I ended up saying, no, that's kinda weird. I think that's unprofessional of me. She got all quiet and then said, well, I guess we won't come up then. I don't understand how that's unprofessional at all. I explained to her that the job takes place at her house where her wife and kid lives. She doesn't let anybody on the property unless she knows them, and I just take the job seriously enough to where I don't think it's appropriate. She just said fine, and then we ended the call. Nothing happened for a little while, so I thought that was that. I then started getting texts from my sisters and my dad saying that I was a little out of line for denying my mom her request. They were saying similar things about how it's not really a big deal, and just ask your boss, she won't mind, and I kept my ground. Now this may be where I'm the asshole, but I told one of my sisters that it saddens me because I feel like they want to come up there not because they want to see me but so they can meet my boss and pet her goats, apparently. My sister told my mom and now both my parents are mad at me and threatened not to visit me at all because I was being disrespectful. My reaction to my sister may have been a little bit of an overreaction, but I still feel like it's valid for me to turn down my mom's request to meet my boss. I've literally never heard of somebody's parents wanting to meet their boss casually. It just seems weird to me, and I want to respect my boss's wishes because it's her private property. So I ask of y'all kindly, am I the asshole? I'm completely open to criticism and I'll try to respond to any comments. Hope you guys have a good day. Edit. Just want to clarify that my boss is in drug recovery as well and has been sober for 5 years. We don't grow drugs, and if we did I would not be working there lol. She has a bachelor as a holistic medicine practitioner, and I am her apprentice. Edit 2. Something I forgot to mention that someone recommended to me putting into the post is that my parents don't exactly trust me yet because I also used to be a drug addict. I've been in treatment for a year, sober, and have actively made steps to turn my life around. I even explored my gender identity and all that shit, and I've become who I've wanted to be. They may not trust me about this since to them it may be weird for 2 ex-drug addicts to be working on a herbal medicine farm. Also, my parents are pretty bigoted, and my boss is in a gay relationship with her wife. Not the asshole. Not even for the comment made to your sister. If it was a public farm, then it wouldn't seem as weird to me. This is your boss's public property, and you are stating a very fair and very valid boundary. Also, it does just seem they want to pet the goats, because as soon as you said no to them, they were like, well now we're not coming. Again, though I can understand their curiosity, you're protecting your job that you love and your boss. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not the asshole. Your parents are being intrusive and acting super entitled. This is your livelihood. They have zero rights to intrude on it. Not the asshole. You set a very clear boundary and she got upset by it. If it all went according to the way you've typed it, then you didn't make up the fact that she said they wouldn't come, she directly stated it on the phone. Well, I guess we won't come up then. She then got the rest of your family involved and got an answer she didn't like. It's okay for her to feel disappointed, but that doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Not the asshole. I'm not sure why what you said to your sister pissed them off. Though it's annoying that she immediately went and told them. That's exactly what happened. As soon as you said no, your mom said she wouldn't visit. They have made it abundantly clear that they only want to visit you to pet your boss's goats. How else are you supposed to take, oh I can't meet your boss and her goats? I'm not coming to visit then. Is there another way that could be interpreted? I think they're just mad they got called out on their obviously bad behavior. Op. If you let your family force you into humoring this extremely weird and unnatural demand, your boss will be radically upset and you will lose your job. It's time for you to not just ask your mother to drop it, not just try to reason with her, but tell her in a big loud voice that the answer is no and to shut her fucking mouth about it. And if she doesn't obey, go and see on her. This wish to get involved with your boss up close is so bizarre it's hair-raising. Whatever her motivation is, it can't be positive. Maybe she resents your independence and wants to cut you down at the knees by wrecking your relationship with your boss. Am I the asshole for upholding my husband's ban on our son's friend? My son, Sam, M17, has begun his last year of high school this fall. He's a smart and ambitious kid, and I'm certain he'll succeed in his studies, but his recent behavior has made me, F46, and his father, Ryan M46, worried. This worry stems from his close friendship with his classmate Stacy, F17. Initially, their relationship seemed like a regular friendship when it began back in February. However, Ryan and I did notice how he spent way more time with Stacy compared to his other friends, and she would come over to our house pretty often. We weren't exactly thrilled about Sam spending so much time with Stacy, and we made it very clear to him that his school obligations should not suffer as a result of the time he spends with her. He has always assured us that it wouldn't. That being said, Sam's marks began to slide, and when we told him about our concerns, he said that it wasn't Stacy's fault and that he was tired from his extracurriculars or that the material covered had become more challenging. During the summer, it became increasingly apparent that Sam's time and attention were disproportionately consumed by Stacy. Ryan told him that during the upcoming school year, he would need to focus primarily on his schoolwork and that he should not waste time entertaining Stacy. He was upset with this and said that he could manage his time properly and that we shouldn't worry about it. Fast forward to this school year, and it seems like Sam is spending even more time hanging out with Stacy. He recently received the results back from a physics quiz and his score was disappointing, significantly lower than his normal average. It wasn't only this quiz. He got back an English assignment that was also lower than his normal and found a chemistry assignment to be more difficult than normal. We spoke with him about it. He explained that he was still rusty from the summer and would perform much better on the next quiz and assignments. Ryan and I weren't satisfied with this response and I told him that he should have studied more the night before the physics quiz instead of having dinner with Stacy's parents. My husband was working late that night and didn't know this, and he became pretty angry when he found out. He told Sam that he could not have Stacy over again and that he himself could not go to her house on school nights. Sam became upset with this and later asked me to talk with Ryan. I told him that the decision was final and that Stacy not studying herself for the quiz must have rubbed off on him. He told me that she wasn't in the physics class, and I told him that this made things even worse since she didn't care that he had a quiz the next day. I then told him that the ban will stay in effect for the foreseeable future. I was talking with my younger sister, Amanda F36, who always had a soft spot for Sam. She says that we're being unbelievably harsh and that we should not focus so much on Sam's grades. Am I the asshole? Context for those wondering: his normal physics scores are typically in the high 80s to low 90s range. His quiz score was a 62. You are the asshole. Imagine a 17Y, OHS kid with a girlfriend. Instead of pushing him away, work with him on how to manage time better. You don't do that by forbidding him, cause he'll do it anyway and things will get worse. Gonna be really fun when he doesn't come around after leaving at the end of the year. And what were the grades? You seem like the kind of parents who do not accept anything but A+S on everything. YTA. Your son told you the material is more difficult but you're still blaming his time with his friend. You're punishing him by taking away a basic need, human connection, for a harmful expectation, perfection, instead of helping. Find out why he's having trouble instead of just assuming and actually help him by addressing the problem he's having with the material and the problem you're having with perfectionism. Completely agree during the week and give him freedom on the weekends. You might be careful because they can still talk on the computer and phone. Get him a tutor if his grades continue to be bad. Yes, grades are important for the next phase, college or trade school. You need to sit down and explain it's fine to have girlfriends, but when it comes to school he needs to do better. He needs to understand the balance because after HS the girls will want his time. He needs to learn boundaries because in college it cost money. Not the asshole. Reddit is bizarre to me sometimes. All the YTA aren't getting the point that his grades went from B to F just by influence of a wrong person. If his parents don't intervene and make him realize, who else will? At the same time, these will be the same people who will still be blaming OP when the kid will be going through a bad phase in his life, saying you didn't do parenting well. It's like you are damned if you do and damned if you don't. You are the asshole if you restrict him from seeing her, he is going to rebel. He is a teenager. Let him be a teenager. Am I the asshole for shouting at my sister's teacher? My sister, Sarah, is in 3rd grade and 8 years old. I'm a 22Y, female. We're a Muslim family and most of the women in our family wear a hijab, veil that covers the hair, for religious reasons. But my parents never enforced that on either me or Sarah because they don't really care about it. Recently Sarah has been watching some TikTokers and seeing the other women in our family and told us she wanted to try wearing the hijab because she thought it looked pretty. So my parents said sure, why not, try it out. Sarah started wearing the hijab to school for a few days. Yesterday when I went to pick her up from school, her teacher said she had a complaint and told me that Sarah has been taking the hijab off during gym and recess, and putting it back on right before dismissal time. I explained to her that it's okay and she was just trying out the hijab for the first time and it doesn't matter, the kid is 8. Then the teacher, she is not Muslim, proceeds to tell me, I'm not too familiar with your religion but I do know that she has to keep it on outside. But she keeps taking it on and off so it's disturbing to see. I tried to explain to her that's not how it works and Sarah just wanted to try it. Sarah was obviously upset and felt embarrassed. I was really trying to explain to the teacher that my family will talk to Sarah at home and just wanted to leave lol. Still, her teacher kept arguing back and wasn't letting us go, saying, if she's going to wear it, she should commit to it. At this point I was kind of pissed and just told the teacher, you need to mind your own business. Wearing this is her personal choice, not yours. Back off. And raised my voice a little because I was exhausted of explaining to the teacher that it's not a big deal to us. Other parents and kids were looking at us because it obviously became a bit heated, so I just took Sarah and left. I assured Sarah she did nothing wrong. I talked to Sarah later on, and it's been hot as hell where we live, so Sarah told me she gets uncomfortable during physical activity so she takes the hijab off. She told me her teacher also embarrassed her in class in front of her friends by telling her the same thing and that she should stop taking the hijab off. What Sarah did is completely fine by our parents and I just couldn't believe a completely random person was trying to intervene in our personal lives. Sarah was really upset and told us she no longer wants to wear the hijab, and my parents are fine with it. It's not a big deal to us but it sucks that this one experience with the teacher might have ruined her perception on it. After all, she is just a kid. I feel bad for raising my voice at the teacher because I feel like I could have handled it better. Am I the asshole? Update. 9/7. I spoke with the superintendent today about the situation and was told the teacher is being investigated. Spoke to some parents in Sarah's class and was told the teacher has targeted other students before, and not just about religious attire. There is no dress code for religious attire, head coverings at Sarah's school, so we're all perplexed. Not the asshole. You're completely right about the teacher overstepping boundaries, especially as a person who isn't Muslim herself. I'm really sorry for you and especially your sister, for having this experiment ruined by someone butting in. I also think hijabs are gorgeous and watch TikToks of people styling and decorating them, so I hope one day your sister gets the confidence to try it again if she so chooses. Not the asshole, and honestly I'd report the teacher for religious interference. It's absolutely none of the teacher's business to try to control the religion of a student unless it's a school specifically for the religion of said student. Even then I'm completely against forced religions and it seems your parents are too. The teacher was highly inappropriate, makes you wonder what other students she's tried to force into her perceived idea of how a religion they may or may not even follow should be done. Muslims aren't even the only religion that wear a form of hijab. Best of luck with your sister's confidence. Not the asshole. I would have done the same as you, to be honest. It's not the teacher's place to tell your sister what to do. Her only job is to teach and respect the kids. And she fails. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. The teacher needed to be put in her place. She openly admitted she is not part of your religion, thus she doesn't know anything about it, whether she thinks she does or not, and had no place opening her mouth in the first place. You did right by your sister. It's sad that the teacher ruined her experience.